All right, let's jump right in. We are about to explore the fascinating and, let's be honest, kind of bizarre world of English idioms. You know, those phrases where the words say one thing, but they mean something completely different.
I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. You're about to go on stage for a huge performance or maybe head into a job interview, and your friend looks at you and says, break a leg. It sounds pretty harsh, doesn't it? Like, what did I ever do to you? But of course, it means the exact opposite of what it sounds like. It's actually a very common way to wish someone good luck. And this little twist, this gap between what the words say and what they actually mean, is what makes idioms so much fun.
So here's the official definition. Basically, an idiom is a special phrase where the whole group of words creates a brand new meaning. You can't just look up each word one by one in the dictionary to figure it out. It's kind of like a secret code you just have to be in on.
And that's really our first big idea here. Think of idioms as the secret code of a language. Once you start to learn them, you unlock this whole other level of communication that's more colorful, more creative, and just sounds more natural. So, where do we even begin to find these phrases? Well, a fantastic place to start is with animals. It turns out we absolutely love to use animals to describe human situations. It's like there's an entire zoo of expressions out there.
This one is a total classic. If you took this literally, you'd be picturing a pretty terrifying and messy weather forecast. But all it means is that it's raining really, really hard. Don't worry, no actual pets are involved in the saying. And here are a few more you've probably heard. If you let the cat out of the bag, well, you've just revealed a secret. If someone tells you to hold your horses, they're just asking you to slow down and be patient for a minute. And if you kill two birds with one stone, you've managed to do two things at once. Pretty efficient, right? And here's how you'd hear it in real life. You can just imagine the scene, can't you? The balloons are up, the cake is ready, and then bam, someone spills the beans. They've let that cat right out of the bag. Now, it's not just about animals. We also use our own bodies to talk about the world in really interesting ways. From our heads all the way down to our toes, body parts are everywhere in our language.
For instance, if that new gadget you want costs an arm and a leg, it means it's super expensive. If I say I'm pulling your leg, I'm just joking around with you. And if you have something important to tell a friend, you want them to be all ears, meaning they're listening with their full attention.
Here's a perfect example. You can see how someone might say this to make it clear that what they just said was a total joke. It kind of lightens the mood. And nope, no actual legs were pulled.
And these body idioms can describe all kinds of feelings and situations. You might get cold feet, that nervous feeling right before a wedding or a big presentation. And then there's that amazing feeling of relief when you finally get a worry off your chest.
Okay, so we've had animals and we've had body parts. But our language also gets a ton of flavor from our senses, especially sight and taste. Colors and food have given us some of the best idioms out there.
Let's start with color. When a situation is black and white, it's super simple and clear. There are obvious rules, no confusion. But a gray area? Well, that's the total opposite. That's a situation where the rules aren't clear at all. And speaking of tasty things, get ready because our language is an absolute feast of food idioms. We use food to describe just about everything. And a lot of these just make sense, right? If a task is a piece of cake, it was incredibly easy to do. To spill the beans, well, that's another way to say you revealed a secret, kind of like letting the cat out of the bag. And if you call someone a bad egg, you're saying they're probably a troublemaker. And you can really feel the difference when you use an idiom. Saying the exam was easy is fine, but saying it was a piece of cake, that just paints a much better picture, doesn't it? It sounds so much more effortless and, well, fun. So after all this talk about cats and legs and cake, you might be thinking, okay, but why does any of this really matter? Well, it turns out these are way more than just weird little phrases. The thing is, idioms are what give a language its life. They add so much color and personality. They create these little mental pictures that make what you're saying more memorable. They're even like a tiny window into a culture's history on perspective. And honestly, if you're trying to become fluent, getting a handle on idioms is a game changer. I mean, think about it. Which sentence has more punch? The job was easy, or the job was a piece of cake? The idiom just lands better. It creates an image, and that's why we use them. It's communicating with style. So there you go. Idioms are like this secret code that people use every single day without even thinking about it. But now
you're in on the secret. So my question for you is, what's an idiom that you think you'll never forget now?